I have been getting are, how do I give credit to a girl for cookies she sold after initial order? And how do I give girls credit for booth sales? I think the booth sales one is way easier. So I'm going to go over that first. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Oh, how do I do this? There it is. I got permission from Troop 20085 to use their account as an example, because mine just doesn't look the same. My eBudde has a whole bunch more things, so it just doesn't look the same as a troop leader's side. So this is what roughly your eBudde should look like when you log in. If you have more than one troop, it'll be over here under troops. Or if you are somebody who has a higher level access, like a service unit leader, your service unit will be listed as first, and then your troops are listed underneath of it. If you need some more space on your screen to be able to see everything in the next couple steps better, this little arrow will hide all of that, so you have more space to see everything. And you'll see why that might matter. We'll go over here to booth sites to record a booth. And you have to have entered a booth into eBudde or selected a council booth to be able to use this. Right here, it says council sales. We'll go to record sales. And then here are your booth locations, either upcoming or past. You can click on it, and across this line, you have all of these options for your cookie varieties. You enter how many packages of each one you sold. Probably more Thin Mints. And then you select which girls you're giving credit to. You as a troop leader get to decide if every single girl gets credit for a booth sale, whether or not she was there, or if only the girls who were at the booth get the credit for the booth sale. That is a troop decision. Just keep it consistent for your troop. If only certain girls are getting credit for these cookies, you can deselect all and then just pick the girls who were at the booth to get that credit. And then over here, we click distribute, and you'll see the other girls lose all of the zeros, and these girls get how many packages they're each being assigned to. It will not split packages in half to spread it out exactly equally. That's why we see 7, 7, and 6. It keeps whole packages. So one girl gets shorted, and that's unfortunate. But if you really, really, really want to make sure everything's perfectly even, you can take it down less cookies just to make it a divisible number, and then track those cookies, and at the end of the season, split them out. So each girl gets 1 more box or 2 more boxes, however it adds up. It's just an unfortunate kind of thing in the system that it won't split a box of cookies in half or in thirds or anything. Once you've done this, you're not quite done. You still have to click submit up here, submit sale. I recommend checking your work because once you submit it, it's kind of hard to get it back, but we can if we need to. This is a really handy way of splitting up the sales like this. It is even, it's quick. You can record your entire sale, and then it does the math for you. I'm not entirely sure if you can see under my Zoom bar over there. It does the math for you of how much money you would have picked up. So if I change that to add 6 toffees, it adds up the math, and that should be how much you brought in for the booth. If you have less than that or more than that, maybe double check your math somewhere. And that'll include anything you swiped in hand or the Cheddar Up swipes if you're using Cheddar Up. Cheddar Up and eBudde do not have any kind of connection whatsoever. Your Cheddar Up might as well be a handwritten check. eBudde doesn't know about it and will never know about it. Those are two systems that will never talk to each other. So that is booths.
Can I ask a quick question, Abigail?
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say.
So actually, I'm learning along with you guys too. So when people are putting the numbers across the top, what if they didn't really keep track during the sale and things were flying fast and going out fast? Can they just put 20 in adventurefuls, or does that mess up their whole inventory?
It only really matters if it's a $5 cookie or a $6 cookie.
Okay.
So if you were just keeping track that way and you have 150 adventure or Thin Mints listed and 0 of everything else, it'll do the same math.
Okay, so it doesn't matter so much, really. It's just about the money and the distribution.
Yeah. The $5 versus $6 cookie is the important part.
Okay.
I see a couple bubbles on the chat. Okay.
Oh, sorry. I was listening. I wasn't paying attention. Let me go.
Nope, that's okay. It doesn't look like there's any questions in there right now.
Oh, that was Rachel. Yeah.
Have any questions about booth sales this way? Okay, I don't see any hands coming up. So I'm going to go over to girl orders. This part, oh, okay. Tani, what's that?
Hey, quick question. So at the end of the day, $5 cookie versus $6 cookie is important to Girl Scouts as a whole. But for those of us at the troop level that are trying to monitor inventory and get the right count attributed to the right scout for prizes and things, it is important which type of cookie went out the door.
Yes, it absolutely is. This is a great way to be tracking that. eBudde just doesn't care as much. So for you to be tracking that is great. If you don't, eBudde doesn't really mess up. Does that make sense?
Sounds like some people keep track of their inventory on here and some people don't. So Tani, it sounds like you guys do. So you would want to be really careful about how you enter them in.
Well, yeah, because we want to give the right girls the right numbers. And then since a year we're limited, we want to make sure that what we're recording is donations versus not, versus somebody took home and, you know, who gets a stuffed koala and who doesn't get a stuffed koala. You know, it's important to the girls. It does all kind of total up at the end, but the details matter at the troop level, especially with a limited inventory on stock.
Okay. Yeah. So I didn't mention the troop gift of carrying and the ARCA over here. If you are taking donations at a booth and they're going to go to the American Red Cross Alaska via a council donation, they would go in that spot here. And those are cookies that your troop does not need to account for. The troop gift of carrying is here, and those would be cookies that your troop does need to account for. So at the end of the season, we get a whole list of how many American Red Cross Alaska cookies we need to donate, and we pull them from what's left in the cupboard, and we call the baker and say, these are how many cookies we need to donate. When are you going to get them to us? And this season, it sounds like they're coming in July, and that'll be okay. But the troop gift of carrying cookies, eBudde is thinking of you as taking those out of your cases that you have in the back of your car, in your garage, or wherever you're storing your cookies, and actually taking them to a location like tomorrow. So those ARCA cookies do not come straight out of your cookie stock. The troop gift of carrying cookies do. There have been a lot of questions about how donated cookies work this year. Okay, over on the girl orders tab. This tab is a little scary. I did not click submit sale because this is not my troop. This is just an example. You would want to click submit sale, in which case you would not get this pop-up that is asking if I want to abandon my edits. I am going to abandon my edits because this is not my troop. Okay. This is showing cookies ordered, troop gift of caring, total cookie boxes, like packages, the total cost of those cookie packages, any money that has been paid, and then what each girl still owes. This is a little weird because eBudde picks a time each day to publish this page. Everything is in Eastern time, so it's probably something like midnight Eastern time. eBudde publishes this. There's also at some point during the day a time that Digital Cookie sends all of the Alaska information over. That is again probably in Eastern time, and it's probably something like 6 a.m. Eastern time, because we're the last time zone, or Hawaii is the last time zone, but we're the last ones out here. So it's probably pushing your information last, which means that your Digital Cookie and your eBudde are not always going to look identical, because every day it picks a time to put this information up. And the stream from Digital Cookie may not have come over yet from yesterday. And that is just the way the system works this year. It should be a continuous update, but Digital Cookie can't handle it. That was part of the reason it went down when it went down for those 3 days. So if a girl had gotten a shipped order 5 minutes after eBudde put this page up, it's not going to show that shipped order yet. And it will show it soon, but you might be able to see that shipped order in Digital Cookie. So it's just not perfect yet. And it's because there are so many girls across the whole country using this system. There's just too much data to go back and forth. Now, I had a good example. Girl. Let's see how Caroline is doing. So when we clicked on Caroline, it goes to just her information and it moved everything around a little bit. This is where I was saying you might want more space on your page to use that little arrow to close out your tabs. She has 2 donated lines, a shipped line, and her initial order. Initial order cookies always show up here under cookie initial and special initial. This page will only count in $5 cookies or $6 cookies. It will not count Thin Mints or Adventurefuls or Somalas. It is not set up to do that. And this just is the way it is. This page cares about cookie boxes and dollars. So for Caroline, she had 10 cookies in her initial order and no $6 cookies. The total is down here. And then she has 2 donated orders from ARCA. Those are 10 ARCA cookies and 10 ARC cookies for a total of 20. And then follow that line across. Her total for each order is 10. $50 was due, $50 was paid via a credit card on Digital Cookie. I know this was on Digital Cookie because it has all of these weird numbers over here on it. She also has a shipped order, which is over here under Cookie Other. It's 4 cookies that she is getting credit for, even though she never touched them. For total, $20 is the amount that was due, $20 is the amount that was paid, and so that's a 0 balance for her. She also has her initial order line, and it says locked because that's the one, it's not the only line, but it's a line that you cannot edit from in here. So she ordered 10 cookies in her initial order. Over here, that's a total of 10. She will need to pay the troop $50 for those. Then over here, she has a balance due of $50 for those cookies. And if we go into her initial order, we can see exactly which 10 cookies were ordered for her. She also has 2 lines that have been entered by her troop, which is 3 cookies from a booth, 3 $6 cookies from a booth, and 3 $6 cookies as other. This 3 $6 packages could mean that after she submitted her initial order, her neighbor said, "Hi, I like gluten-free cookies. Can I have 3 packages of the Toffee-tastics?" And then she wrote it down on her order card, but the initial order was already placed. So she's going to go to her troop leader after the cookies come in and say, "Hi, my neighbor wants 3 Toffee-tastics. I need 3 more Toffee-tastics." And this is where the troop leader recorded those 3 $6 cookies. That order was a total of 3 cookies, and it was $6 cookies, so there's $18 owed. No money has been paid for them yet, and $18 is owed for there. This was a booth where she got credit for 3 $6 packages, 3 $6 packages here. This was manually entered, so it appears that nothing was paid, and she has a balance due, so I suspect that there was an error on this line when it was entered, but I will communicate with the troop leader directly about which part of this was not quite perfect, but that's okay. That's why we're doing this webinar. And if you have tracked all of the cookies exactly as this girl has asked for them, and all of the cookies, all of the cookie money she has turned in, this number will get to 0 at the end of the season. And that's good. You can also see exactly how many cookies she is getting credit for. If she actually sold more cookies than this, and you're not sure where you put them or how you recorded them, this is the number here that eBudde is calculating her rewards off of. If she actually sold 100 boxes of cookies and this says 40 at the end of the season, she is getting the rewards level at 40 if this is what this page looks like. You will need to enter the rest of her cookies to get her up to 100 if she actually sold 100 cookies. This is also the number that we will calculate her cookie credits off of, your troop encampment credits, and her rewards. So we're going to look at a different girl who has a lot more. So this is Amlia, and she has been selling like crazy. She has all of these shipped orders, and she has girl delivered orders. So on a girl delivered order line, you see the receipt number from Digital Cookie, and that line has no cookies on it because at the time that payment was received, no cookies were given. So this girl delivered line, the DLBR deliver, has 0 cookies on it. eBudde doesn't know where those cookies are. You hopefully do. The total due is 0 because eBudde doesn't think a transaction happened because there's no cookies assigned to it. The amount paid was $40. So the balance due is -40. eBudde is thinking there's this girl who took $40 for cookies, but didn't give any cookies. So we have to give her those cookies somewhere. The first place we gave her cookies was on her initial, on her initial order line. This girl sold a lot of cookies. There's her initial order. 189 cookies for initial order, 15 special $6 cookies for a total of 204 cookies. So now she's been given some cookies, but this is not quite all of the cookies she will need to fill all of her girl delivered lines. So we will have to give her more cookies. And that means she ordered what she needed for the orders she took before initial order. And then after initial order, she kept selling cookies and now she needs more. So if we go down all the way to the bottom, like you can see she sold a lot of cookies. Here, the troop has entered 2 different items for her. The delivery credits was the cookies that she sold between initial order going in and the time the troop actually got the cookies. She picked up 220 more cookies after her initial order and 30 of the $6 cookies for 250 more cookies after her initial order. The total due for that is $1,280. eBudde does that math for you. The $1,280 is over here. She also has the Hilltop Ski Area booth that her troop was a part of. She got credit for 3 $6 packages, but nothing was paid. So I suspect that that might be the same error we were seeing on the other girl. And that's why booths get a little tricky. If she sells more cookies, we can give her more cookies. And we do that by adding a transaction. So you just click this purple button that says add trans, and we will name this something. You need to decide on a naming system for you. I can give you ideas, but it doesn't have to mean something specific to me. You don't have to follow a certain code. I would use the date and something descriptive. So this way I can remove it after. So if she sold more cookies to, maybe her dad wants to take them to work, and he wants to take 15 boxes of Thin Mints and 5 boxes of s'mores to work. And her dad is gonna give her the cash for those to take to her troop leader. So 15 boxes of $5 boxes and 5 of the $6 boxes. I always use cookie other and special other. Cookie booth and special booth you can use. I prefer to record booths through the booth recorder under the booth sites tab. If she gets an ARCA donation from her neighbor, whomever, that is just fine. You enter a number there. And then troop gift of caring, same thing. That would go here. If she is paying for these cookies at the same time she is picking them up from the troop leader, you can enter the paid at the same time. You don't have to. You can also enter that later. Some troop leaders like these things to add up on one line. Some troop leaders like to see each thing on its own line. Both of those are okay. Once we have this, we'll click OK, and we'll see her balance go up to 826. If she is also submitting a payment, we can do that here. That time I clicked add payment. Add transaction and add payment both let you enter a payment, and it thinks about those the same way. The difference is when you click add payment, you can only fill in the add payment box. So here we would add, maybe when she picked up those cookies, she brought $20 of cookie money. We would add that in and click OK. Then she has paid 20, takes $20 off of the balance due, enter $20, took that down. Vanessa, what's your question?
So if my daughter, for example, she didn't have any initial orders, but she had an in-person order after initial order, can I just put it straight to eBudde, or does it need to go in digital cookie? And then, like, is it okay if it's not on digital cookie at all?
Absolutely.
Okay.
The digital cookie, like enter your paper order card spot, does not go anywhere. That stays in digital cookie. That is set up for troop leaders to view. However, it wasn't even quite functioning correctly at the time of initial order because of the digital cookie outage thing. So you can put it in there if you want to. Some people like to have all of their number boxes filled up, but it is not going anywhere, so you do not have to fill it in.
Yeah. Okay, so I could just put straight to eBudde. Okay,
Absolutely.
thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so there we have more cookies picked up by this girl and a payment made by her. Some troop leaders are going to want to only put in one payment amount for the whole season and say this girl paid $256 because that's how much she owed and she paid it once. That's okay. Some troop leaders are going to do a line for cash, a line for checks, a line for change for Tuesday, and then the same thing for the next Friday, and that's okay also. As long as we get her balance all the way paid up and the correct number of cookies assigned to her, we're good. If your system includes 100 lines of text, that's okay. If your system includes 3, that's also okay. So this is where this girl would be at right now. The only step that I haven't done yet is to save. When these are green, that means they're new. So green is bad. We want to save them. And I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Rachel, I'll fix it. So you'll get save in progress and then girl orders updated. Okay. If you are like, oh my goodness, I just entered this under the wrong girl, just go through and take it out and click OK. I promise I've done that before to delete this. You'll just take it back out and then she has zeros. And that's all right. Oh, it's just seeing it too many times because my internet's too slow. Sorry. But you can remove an entry by doing that. I do also believe I can zero it out completely from my council level. But the point being is that they're editable. You just need to go through and save again. And now the scroll is back to where she had been before. Tina, yes.
Tina's got her hand up.
I just want to be real clear here. So the delivery credit total is offsets all of the girl delivered digital cookie orders. So we don't have to enter them anywhere. They're already there.
So this is how this troop leader chose to credit that and name that line. So the delivery credits, she typed it in. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's what I was trying to figure out because I couldn't find any way to actually open that line to enter anything. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
So the gray ones you cannot edit. The initial order says locked on it to emphasize that, I guess. The white ones are ones that you have entered and you can edit. I can also edit them. And now it's clicking on things again. That little OK button just puts it on the line. The save button saves it.
Vanessa, did you still have a question or your hand's just still up?
Oh, sorry, I didn't know I was supposed to.
Oh, that's
manually
okay.
put it back.
Okay.
All right.
So I'm sure we answered your question.
That is the information I have right now. The only other handy tool is you can switch from girl to girl right here. Does anybody else have any questions?
Can you speak to entering the end of season rewards? Because say I bought an extra 20 cases for my daughter, somebody else came up short. I want my daughter to get the credit, but the other person sold them again. And I loaned them to her. And so maybe I have 200 boxes my daughter sold, and this other girl, we gave her some and she sold them. And each girl really did sell those cookies. So we end up selling more cookies than we bought. But we want everybody to get credit for what they sold, whether or not we kind of like resold it.
So eBudde will only allow you to enter cookies that are assigned to your troop, and they can only be sold once. So as far as the rewards, girls will only be able to get rewards up to the total number of cookies your troop has received from initial order and from cookie cupboards.
Okay, so if I give 10 boxes of cookies to another girl, do I enter a negative transaction here?
So you can, yes, that is a way to do it. That will take 10 off of this girl's total, and they will go to the girl that you are giving them to, and you will have to also enter them as a positive transaction under her. And that will take the first girl's total down. Rewards are under the rewards tab. I'm going to abandon the edits because this is not my troop. Final rewards, view, fill out, and girl report. To just click view, nothing is submitted yet. And it's not really calculating them yet because it's not the end of the season either, but you can see the box level, how many you're going to get, and what the reward is, the ones that have selections under them. And then booth sales patch is you will just select how many you need for your troop and they will be shipped to you. So if you are only giving the booth sales patch to the girls who were physically at the booth and you had 7 girls who did booths, you'll select 7. If every girl in your troop is going to get a booth patch, whether or not she showed up to one, because it's not her fault that her parents were super, super, super cautious, then you'd enter 15 or however many girls were in your troop. But they should all be lined out based on the box level and the selection options you have under reward.
So that, except for picking like the sizes of a t-shirt or something, it'll automatically do it based on just what each girl sold.
Yes. Which is one of the reasons it's so important to be using the girl orders tab to track how many cookies each girl is selling. And it will include the shipped and the donated.
And this is also where we get our information for camp credits. So that's the other reason. If girls are waiting or trying to go to camp or something, or program or whatever, that's where we get the numbers too.
Yes, Vanessa.
Sorry, I think I missed something regarding the rewards. So we manually go to each girl and give them their rewards, because I clicked on rewards and I don't see anything.
When you click on rewards, it should look like this.
Yeah.
I just clicked on view. When you're ready to fill it out, you'll click fill out. And you can see like this girl has 11 assigned to her, but she needs to select like a t-shirt size or a this or that kind of thing. But like this girl receives 1 and there's no options there. So she's just getting what that 1 is. That was
and where
sorry. That was when you click fill out. So rewards and then fill out.
Oh, and that's where we put the sizes and stuff. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Tina?
Yeah, I thought of another question. So when a troop uses booth sale cookies to fill their digital cookie girl delivery orders, do you have to do anything special with those? Because one of my leaders thought she was talking to you and you were talking about putting in negative numbers.
Okay. So
I could understand that too.
that was Yeah, so if they ordered on the initial order, booth cookies, these are not actually assigned anywhere. They're just like, eBuddy's like, this troop has them, but I don't know what to do with them. So they're just going to sit there until somebody puts them somewhere. If you put them under booth sites, record sales, they are taken care of. Or some troops use the girl orders tab and then the cookie booth special booth. Some troops will do this very complicated math where they take the total number of booth sales they have the entire season, and they sold 468 cookies at booths the entire season. And they had 4 girls, and this girl spent 6 hours at booths, and this girl spent 2 hours at booths, and this girl spent an hour and a half at a booth, and they average out the cookies based on the number of hours and all of this extra math that you don't have to do by any means. And they will put that under cookie booth, special booth, and then also paid on that same line so that the girl gets credit for that the money at the booth was taken care of. And then they'll have a booth line. That is a whole bunch of extra math that you by no means have to do, but some people think it's more fair that way, and that's fine. The only time I would enter a negative transaction on a girl order is if she was going to sell cookies, so they were handed to her and recorded, but then she decided she was not selling those cookies anymore and she's giving them to somebody else. That is the only time I would use a negative transaction.
Okay, well, in this case, they were digital cookie orders that came in after the initial order, and she was taking them out of what she had set aside for booth sales. So the cookies were already getting paid for, so she wanted to make sure that the girls didn't end up owing for them again.
Mm-hmm. So if you enter negative cookies here, it does some like backwards math. Anytime a girl is given the cookies, even if they're coming out of the cookies the troop was planning to use for a booth, they still get entered as positive cookies here. And the girl delivered digital cookie dollars are already a negative against her balance. So her total amount due for her initial order, this is coming out of that money. And you'll actually see girls who have a lot of girl delivered cookies and didn't order enough on their initial order, they will actually have a negative balance.
Okay.
So a negative balance means they need more cookies.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions?
Solved all the problems, Abigail.
I hope so. While we're here, interrupt me if you have a question, please. But if you need cookies, you can go to transactions, add a transaction, and always select your cupboard first because, for example, the council cupboard is out of Adventurefuls and out of s'mores, so they are all grayed out. You can't even try to order them. But if you hadn't selected a booth yet, or a cupboard, and you try to order Adventurefuls, and then you go say, I wanted to get them from council, it has 1 or more varieties unavailable and 3 Adventurefuls, but if you try to save it, it's not going to let you. So we'll go back in here and just delete that because, again, this is not my troop.
So I might mention something, 2 things about that, Abigail. We are going to send out, or maybe it went out already today, because we are having these shortages, and they're different in different parts of the state. So Tina's not quite the same as Anchorage, and I don't know where everybody's from on here. I know several from Anchorage. We usually don't do this, but we are at our Anchorage Council letting girls bring back cookies at the Anchorage Council by cases only cases until March 21st. And that way we can help get them back out into rotation. We have several troops who are traveling, and so they have really high goals and they want to make sure they meet those goals to travel. So this will just help you move things around. If you're like, okay, our trip's done and we want to be done, we'll at least do it till the 21st. We'll take stock around the 21st again. And Tina, you and I have already talked via email about the peninsula, but it's just, we've never had this shortage before. And we've talked to Little Brownie Baker. They are probably not, like, most likely 99% not sending us more cookies in enough time to finish out the sale. There's troops, there's councils down in the lower 48 who haven't gotten any cookies at all, haven't gotten their initial orders. And so we're way down below those people of even on the list of getting cookies. So, and that's why Abigail said the Red Cross cookies won't even come till summer when they're totally have a chance to catch up again, which is fine. The Red Cross doesn't care really when they get their cookies. So, so it's just again, another weird year, a third weird year in a row. Every year is weirder or different than the other year. But so if you have questions about that, let us know. But so sometimes we might have some adventurefuls, but we won't still have them on eBudde because we might have like 3 or 5. So if you're in the council and picking up, then you could just ask us if we have some extras of those other kind of varieties. And then the other thing is, when you do put in an eBudde order, that is held. We do not give it to anybody else. That reserves it for you. We pull it right away, set it aside, and it's yours. And so that's how you'll know they're there, because they were there when you ordered them, and they're going to be there when you pick them up too. So hopefully that makes sense, but definitely ask any questions if it doesn't. Tina, you said you were delayed getting yours from Anchorage because of the avalanche. So you guys just you've had one weekend, and we've had one weekend under our belt, but how are your supplies going down there?
Well, we've only had one troop, I think, that has done any booth sales, and they did great. They sold out, and they realized there are shortages, and so they're just, they're done essentially, other than here and there. I think we have enough for some small booth sales, and then there are a couple of troops that are going to be doing late booth sales, and so we'll just work with what we've got, and I think we'll be fine.
Okay, great. Also, I mentioned in one of my emails, the online sales are off the charts. People are buying cookies online. They really are. And so we are doing a special around daylight saving time. GCI donated several really, Abigail, I don't know if you could show yours, these Galaxy watches, and they're very cool and they're fun. They're not quite Apple watches, but they're, along the same line. And so any girl who sends out her email link, and it has to be emailed, otherwise we won't see it. It's not just posting it on Facebook. We don't care if anybody buys or not off of it. That's not the credit. It's just sending out the email that gets them the credit. And then we'll do a drawing, and there'll be 5 girls that win the watch, and then 5 cookie managers or troop leaders, whichever service unit manager, whoever it works out to be for each, everybody's a little bit different, can win as well, because GCI donated several. So we have some to give away. And I thought that'd be fun during daylight savings time. And then we know too, again, since we're running short on stock, the day that we did the 2-4 Tuesday sale really was off the charts, like ginormously off the charts. It was very popular. And so we will probably, we'll definitely do some more shipping specials too, so that girls can send out their link and to their friends and family and say, hey, we're having a sale or whatever, so that you can get some credits there as well. We just not girl delivery, they'll be shipped. All those will be shipped. But yeah, I would say we're 400% over 2020 on shipped cookies and about 20% over last year on shipped. And then we actually, all of you and we did too, ordered 40% more cookies this year. I think people are just super excited to see Girl Scouts again and have something normal, and the adventurefuls are very popular, as you have all noticed. So.